Hi everyone. Just trying to figure out how to pin this comment so that everyone knows what's going on. Hi everyone. And I'm also going to set up my camera, make sure that it's nice and straight, hopefully, and that you can see most of my mat. Allie! All right, let's see. That's pretty good. So at some point, just in about 3 minutes, I will say the word of the day. So if you're hanging tight for that, we'll get there. Hope everyone is doing well. Hello. Hi, Maddie. Hope everyone's doing well so far today. I'll talk a little bit about what we're going to do. I decided to call this the midday reset because I know that times are tough and sometimes it is good to just take a moment in the middle of your day or at the beginning of your day, depending on where you are, and just breathe and sort of connect with yourself and really get into your body and just kind of see where that takes you for the rest of your day. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to move really slowly with intention. We're going to work a little bit. We're going to release a little bit. So hope you guys enjoy. And I'm just going to wait until it's actually 12 o'clock and then maybe even another minute for people to join who aren't keeners like us, who want to set up ahead of time. Hi. I won't be asking you to use any props, but if you have 2 blocks, you can always keep those close by on either side of your mat. That's always helpful. The only other thing we'll be doing that you might want something for is low lunges and child's pose. So if you like padding up your knees, maybe grab a blanket and fold it up so that you can put it underneath your knees. Or if you find child's pose for a long time is a little bit challenging, you can always roll up the blanket and put it between your heels and your sit bones as well. Great. I'm just checking the time on the only other piece of technology that I usually check for time, which is my computer, so I've hidden it off screen over there. All right. So if you're already setting up and you have everything ready for yourself, you could just lie down on your mat and start to breathe. If you really love child's pose, we are going to take a little bit of time at the beginning. So if you find that might be too much for your knees, then maybe just start lying on your back and then we'll all start together. But feel free to just create your space, start breathing in and out through the nose as much as possible, and maybe place one hand over your heart, one hand over your belly. Sometimes that, hi Vani. Sometimes that helps just ground you, center you, and also feel what's going on. So, still a couple minutes. If you're joining in, welcome to day 14 of 14 of the challenge that Yoga Tree's putting on. My name's Mallory. If you haven't read or met me, thanks so much for tuning in. I wish I could see everyone, but other than that, very lovely to practice with all of you. All right, so I'm going to wait another minute just for anyone who's joining right now. But if you're on a 30-minute clock exactly, take this time to settle in, start breathing, maybe lie down or find a comfortable seat. All right. And since it is the beginning, and I will say this again at the end, for those of you who are collecting the word of the day, today's word or pose is tree pose. So you can write that down on your cards. And congratulations if you are doing that on completing the 14-day challenge with me today. All right. So we're going to begin. And we're going to start in a child's pose. So get set up. We're going to set up into child's pose though. So start on your hands and knees in tabletop. And then feel like the 2 halves of your body are pulling in opposite directions. So have your toes touching, knees can be slightly apart. Think about your heart reaching forward, a little bit of an arch in your back. And then as you push yourself back and lean your hips back, your heart is reaching forward, starting to walk your hands forward so that you're slowly getting down to the floor. Hips finally touching your heels. And then resting your forehead down. And just start to breathe. I'll be right back. Feel the sensations that you feel in your inner thighs. Maybe through the shoulders. And as you breathe here and allow more space to come into your body, feel as low into your lungs as you can to fill up the breath. And as you fill the breath into the base of your lungs, feel it fill up your low back. Nice long inhales in and out through the nose. And see how much of your rib cage you can fill up. Starting to breathe not just into the low back, but also into the middle of the rib cage, into the middle of your back. And then take a really long, slow inhale into the low belly, low back, mid belly, mid back. And then finally up through the chest and the upper back, and then open your mouth, sigh that out. You can do that again a few more times. Just feeling yourself grow closer to the floor. Take another full breath in. Let it go with an exhale, make some noise. And then start to come up onto your hands and knees. Setting up our tabletop together, really press down into the hands, like you're trying to push them through the floor. And then gripping down through the knuckles that attach your palm to your fingers, those upper knuckles there. Root down into the floor and feel a little bit of space puff up between the shoulder blades. Pull the shoulders back away from the ears. Feel like the sides of your neck are growing long, your head reaches forward, and pull your forearms in towards center. Feel that wake up the chest muscles. And just hold that strength. Start to squeeze the inner thighs together as well. So without the knees actually moving, whether you have your toes tucked or untucked, press your feet into the floor and find that little squeeze in the lower half of the body. Feel that wake up your low belly muscles. And again, long from the hips, through the crown of the head. Take another breath here. And then from that stability that you've created in the arms and the legs, start to find a gooey spine. On your inhale, let the hips lift up, belly drops down, chest reaches forward. And on your exhale, round through the spine, tuck the tailbone, find every vertebrae that you can. Drop your head. Continue to move with your breath. Inhale to find your arch. Exhale to find the roundness. And use the stability that you're creating with your upper body and your lower body to allow the middle to really move. And again, challenge yourself. See if you can find every single vertebrae really pulling in through the front of the body as you round the spine. And then let that part open up. Squeeze the muscles of the back as you arch. 2 more times. Pressing down into the floor. Open up between the shoulder blades. Drop the weight of your head. And then lift. Last one. Push the ground away from you. Lift yourself back up. And then come back to a neutral tabletop. Move your left hand in slightly. And reach your right arm up to the ceiling. Twist open. On your exhale, thread the right arm underneath. Come to the back of your shoulder, right side of the face down to the floor. Reach the hips back, long through the spine. Your left hand can stay down underneath the shoulder. Maybe puff the palm off the floor. Just breathe into this twist, using the left hand to still open up through the left shoulder, or you can reach the left arm forward. Maybe lift it up, flip the palm, bring it towards the low back or the opposite inner thigh crease. Breathe here into the ribs. Feel free to have the eyes closed or just focus your gaze on one spot. Develop your focus. After your next exhale, inhale, reach the arm up, bring it back down underneath the shoulder. Press the floor away from you, reach the right arm up. Unravel that twist. And then bring the right hand down, take one cat-cow, arch through the spine, lift the chest. On your exhale, round. Drop the head. Then come back through center, set up for the other side. Right hand down underneath the shoulder, reach the left arm up, open up, and then thread that arm underneath. Coming to the back of the left shoulder, left side of the face down. Again, you have the options for your hand. Maybe that right elbow stays stacked over the wrist. Maybe you reach the arm forward, or reach it up and around the back for the inner opposite thigh. Reach the hips back in space. And breathe deeply here. So don't twist so far that you can't take a full breath. Continue to fill up into the rib cage. And take one more full inhale and exhale before reaching that right arm back down to the floor. Press the ground away from you, reach the left arm up, unravel, and then hand down, one cat-cow. Inhale, arch the belly, down, lift the chest forward, round through the spine. And then sink back with your feet so that you reach towards a plank position. Find again that pull in of the upper arms and the in pull towards center of your inner thighs. And then start to press the ground away from you to lift your hips up towards downward facing dog. Find a light bend through your knees. We're going to be here for a little bit. Just like we set up with tabletop, we're really going to set up this downward dog. Continue to find a nice full long breath. And feel free at any point that you need to sigh to just let it go. So as you bend into your knees, feel now your lower legs pulling into center so that there's a little bit of space for the hips. And if you like pedaling out through one heel and then the other, keep pushing the ground away from you with your hands. Really sink back into your heels. Knees can stay micro bent. And then find stillness for another 3 breaths. Feel the arms pulling into center, the palms, the forearms pulling in. And then find that lightness through your hips. One last long breath in. Long exhale. And then bend your knees. Look forward to the front of your mat. Start to take lots of small steps. Feel that stretch out the sides of your legs as you walk towards the front of your mat. Maybe keeping your palms flat to the floor. Bend your knees as deeply as you need to. And then walk your feet so that they're about hip distance apart, maybe making 2 fists. Squeeze the inner arches of your feet to the outsides of your fists. And lift up to a flat spine. So you're lifting your spine away from the floor, trying to make your upper body parallel to the ground. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Feel the upper ribs draw in. And then on your next exhale, release. Let go of the weight of your head. Maybe grab opposite elbows. Sway side to side gently. Allowing the low back to release. So bend into your knees as deeply as you need to let your belly and your thighs really be in contact with each other. Let your feet be heavy. Notice if you're putting all of the weight in your heels or your toes. Even that out. And feel your spine grow longer from the hips down to the crown of the head. 2 more breaths. Feel free to sigh. And then on your next inhale, bring your hands to your shins. Push your arms straight to lift your upper body away from the floor. Feel the backs of your legs engaging. So it's like you're trying to lightly pull your sit bones down towards your heels. Roll the shoulders away from the ears again, tuck in the upper ribs. And then bend your knees even more. Reach your arms out to the side as you lift up to standing. Take a little bit of a back bend. Hips forward, heart lifts. And then on your exhale, bring your hands down towards heart center and just allow your breath to settle. Close your eyes. Feel the weight of your body resting in your feet. And then on your next inhale, open the arms up, taking a half sun salutation. Take that little back bend and then hinge forward over your legs. Let the weight of your head drop down. Inhale, lift to that flat spine. Feel the backs of the legs lifting you. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale again, backs of the legs strong, core strong. Lift all the way up to standing, hips forward, arms up, and hands come to heart. Again, inhale, lift the arms, hips go forward, heart lifts. Exhale, fold. Doing 2 more of these. Move with your breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale to circle out through the arms, lift strong through the legs, strong through the core, hands to center. Last one. Inhale, circle out through the arms. Feel the stretch for your chest, and then release the muscles of your low back. Lift through the spine up to parallel with the floor, and exhale, release. This time, inhale to your flat back. Plant your palms and just step your left foot towards the back of the mat. Drop the back knee down. Inch the right foot a little bit maybe forward towards the front of your mat and pull the right hip back, pull the left hip forward. So feel the legs pulling in towards center. Feel that lift up the center of your body and then push the ground away from you with your right leg. Reach the arms up. Feel like you're trying to make the center of your body really small. So like you're pulling on a tight pair of pants or a pair of pants after wearing sweatpants all throughout these last few weeks. Squeeze it in and then really reach long through the body. Continue to find that nice long full breath. And then palms face forward. Drag the elbows down to the same height as your shoulders. Still feel that squeeze through the center of your body. Maybe find a little bit of a back bend. Backs the hands get heavy, center of the heart lifts. And then on your exhale, hands come down. Lift the back knee up. Step to plank and lift the hips up and back to downward facing dog. If you need a break, take child's pose instead for the 5 breaths. If you'd like more movement, you could also take a vinyasa. I'm specifically making this a little bit slower, just so that we can really focus on the breath, really focus on everything we feel. Last full breath in, sigh it out, and then bend your knees and start to walk your way towards the front of the mat again. Once your feet are between your hands, press down through the heels. Use the backs of the legs, the glutes, to help you lift up to your flat back. And then as you exhale, step your right foot towards the back of the mat. As you drop the knee, maybe widen your stance, heel toe that front foot a little bit further forward, and then pull that front hip back in space, back hip forward. Feel that lift the center of your body. Push the ground away from you with your left leg. Come all the way up, and again, find that squeeze in through the belly muscles. Keep reaching up. Good. Feel like your arms are hollow. That's one of my favorite analogies that a teacher used to help me get really light. Thanks, Jelena. And then palms face forward. Elbows pull down to the same height as your shoulders. Again, with that center of your body really pulling in, maybe finding a little bit of a back bend. Hands get heavy, heart lifts up. And then on your exhale, hands come down, step back, either through a vinyasa or right to downward facing dog or to child's pose. If you want to take that vinyasa, feel the low belly active, and then when you push your arms to straight, open up through the chest. Tucking the toes, lifting up and back, taking the rest of your 3 breaths. Good. Sorry, I just saw. Beautiful. Okay, last one. Side out. Good, and then gaze forward. And again, walk your feet towards the front of your mat. Once your feet are there, lift flat spine, dig down through the heels, and then bend into your knees as much as you need to get the hands down underneath the shoulders, puffing the palms away from the floor. Sweep the left heel up and back, and drag the right hip away from your head. Grow as long through your spine as you can. Really kick through that lifted left leg, so much so that it maybe starts to shake. If that happens, I'm right there with you. And just keep dragging back through that right hip. Lift the center of the top of your head as far away from that lifted back foot as possible. And then on your next exhale, start to bend into the right knee. Let the left toes touch down and come all the way up for a high lunge. Bending lightly into the back knee, reach the arms up, and then bring the palms to heart center. As you find your breath again, pull the front hip back hip forward, and then bend into your back knee a little bit and squeeze the muscles right between your glutes and your hamstrings. Feel that connection between your leg and your center. And then from that squeeze, start to reach the left heel a little bit further away. Maybe reach the arms up. Keep the palms touching. Feel that squeeze through the low belly. That cinching through the waist. And then on your exhale, left hand's gonna come down to the floor, right arm reaches up. Keep that back leg strong, open up into your twist. Good, and then bring the right hand down. Step the left foot forward, flat spine. Then exhale, fold over your legs. Just let it all go. Feel free to grab opposite elbows, sway side to side. And if you found movement, bring yourself back to that natural, just relaxed forward fold. Feel the weight even in your feet. Really let go of the weight of your head. Even if you think you let it go, see if there's something else to release. Check in more deeply with your body. Feel your breath. Feel your legs. And after your next exhale, inhale, lift to your flat spine. Ground down through the heels. Bend into the knees as much as you need to let those fingertips come back down. We're doing the other side. So left leg, nope, that's the same leg. Right leg reaches back. Your left leg is down. And then feel that hip grow longer. Maybe even take your left hand to your hip. Drag it towards the back of the mat. Kick back through that right foot. And the crown of your head reaches forward. See, I'm out of the frame. There we go. Really strong through that back leg. Kick out through that heel. Feel the left hip pull back. Be as long as you can. If you want to take this to a warrior 3, if you did on the other side, go ahead. Otherwise, staying here, focusing more on opening the outer side of that standing leg and strengthening that back leg. Take another full breath in. And then start to bend into your left leg, letting the right toes touch down. Lift all the way up, good, to your high lunge. And again, light bend through the back leg. Bring your hands to heart center and feel the front hip pull back hip pull forward. Find the weight in both of your feet. And then find that squeeze in the muscles that attach your hip on the back leg to the back of the leg. Squeeze that muscle and then from there straighten out through that heel. Push it away from you. Maybe staying here with the arms or reach them up. Finding that nice long breath the whole time. Cinch through the waist. Find your midline. Really pull in towards it. And then open up the arms. Bring the right hand down inside the left foot. foot, reach the left arm up, twist open. Strong through both legs. And then bring your left hand down. Step the left foot back, and if you want to take your vinyasa, take your vinyasa. Otherwise, shift right up and back to downward dog. You can always take rest in child's pose. If you're taking your vinyasa, feel free to take 2. We'll be here long enough for you to be able to do that, and you can still move nice and slow. If you're in that downward dog, feel how it feels different from the first one of class. Still find that action of squeezing the forearms towards each other, towards the center. Feel the heels root down maybe a little bit more than they did at the beginning of practice. And then we'll all meet in this downward facing dog for a full breath in, full breath out. Sweep the right heel up behind you, and then stack that hip open, bend the knee, pull the foot towards the sit bone, reach up through the knee. Foot pulls down towards the hip. Take another breath in, and then step that foot down, full breath in your downward dog, feeling all that heat building up. And then sweep the left heel up towards the ceiling, stack the hip open, bend the knee, lift the knee nice and high, squeeze the foot towards the sit bone. Take another breath. And then unwind, step the foot down. Either flow through a vinyasa and meet in child's pose, or shift forward to tabletop. Find that same reach back to child's pose that we had at the beginning. So knees wide, toes touch, hips reach back, heart reaches forward. Like the 2 parts of your body don't want to move in the same direction until your forehead comes down to the floor. And just for the sake of volume, I'm going to sit up, but continue to stay where you are. And just breathe. Catch your breath. Breathe all the way into the inner thighs, into the low belly. And feel all the muscles along the sides of your spine inflate with air. Take another 2 really long, deep breaths. And then start to look forward between your hands. Make your way onto your belly. Untuck your toes once you're there. Press the tops of the feet into the floor. Press the hips down. Find that same squeeze right between the glutes and the hamstrings. So like lowest glute muscles you can find, highest hamstring muscles you can find. Feel them squeeze as you push your hips down to the floor. And then feel the center of your waist pulling in. Bring your hands either fingertips on the floor or palms on the floor. Roll the shoulders away from you, away from the ears. And then start to squeeze the muscles of the upper back, pressing down through the tops of the feet, pressing down through the hips for your low cobra. Continue to hold here and breathe. Tuck your chin in towards your chest, and maybe push into the hands a little bit more, lift higher, still feeling that center of the waist pull in. And then again, roll the shoulders up and back, maybe unravel to a higher cobra, take another breath. And then as you come down, feel the hands dragging back, elbows pull towards the back of your mat as you lengthen your chest down. And then we'll do it again, press to the tops of the feet, press the hips into the floor, feel that low part of your glutes activating. Low belly pulls in, middle of the waist gets as small as it can go, bracing through your core. Fingertips or palms down to the floor. Squeeze the upper back muscles to lift your chest forward. Keep the back of your neck nice and long. And then as you breathe, tuck your chin in towards your chest. Push into your hands a little bit more. And then next inhale, roll the shoulders up and back. Maybe push a little higher. No strain through the low back, lots of support through all those muscles. And then slow lower, all the way down as you lengthen forward. And just choose a side for your head to lie. Stack your hands underneath the forehead. And again, just catch your breath. And when you're ready, rolling onto your back. And just stay where you are, but roll over. And bend the knees. Walk the feet wide to the edges of your mat so your knees can fall into center. And palms just face up. We'll take a nice easy twist. Let both knees come over to the left side. Leave the feet where they are. And in this open twist, focus on taking nice, long, deep, expansive breaths. As you exhale, releasing tension through the hips and the shoulders. Maybe extending your gaze or just turning your head away from the direction of your knees for the last 2 breaths here. After that second exhale, bring the knees through center, gaze back up to the ceiling, and then knees over to the right, gaze to the left, if that's comfortable on the neck. And again, use this open twist to find as much expansion through your rib cage as you can find while you take your breaths. And let those exhales melt you into the floor. Check in with the muscles around your neck and shoulders. See if you can let them release any further. And take one more breath just like this, fully letting go. And as your knees come back to center, draw them towards your chest, one at a time. Wrap your arms around the shins. Rock gently from side to side. And take happy baby pose. Leave the low back on the floor. Bring the knees towards the sides of the body. Maybe reaching for the insides of the feet. Maybe reaching for the ankles. Kick the feet up towards the ceiling. Feel the top of your head and the hips reach in opposite directions. And stay here longer if you have more time. Otherwise, letting the heels drop back towards the sit bones, pull the knees to center. Wrap your arms around your shins, pull your nose towards your knees, grow into a small little ball, lift your low back off the floor, everything through the front body nice and tight. And then on your exhale, release yourself down to the floor, walking your feet out to the edges of your mat, palms face up, arms away from the body, for Shavasana, your final resting pose. And as you settle into your stillness and silence, just allow the breath to return to normal. Keep it easy and flowing, and relax all of the structures of the body, hips, shoulders, through the belly, and around the rib cage. Let the head be heavy to the floor, the arms and legs heavy into the ground. And where you are, take a full long breath in. And on your exhale, sigh down. Just holding in stillness for the last few moments of your class. Periodically check in with the muscles around your face, neck, and shoulders specifically. See if you can let them go any further. And just continue to breathe. If you have more time to spend in this pose, stay here. Otherwise, beginning to bring any small movement that feels natural back to the body to wake it up. Roll out through the wrists and ankles. Wiggle the fingers and toes, and eventually stretch your arms overhead. Reach out long from your fingertips to your toes. Breathe in, and on your exhale, side out. And start to gather your knees back towards center. Roll over to one side. Leave that arm on the floor. Use your upper arm as a pillow for your head. And tuck the knees in nice and close. Keep the eyes closed. And then push yourself up to a comfortable seat, facing whatever direction feels most natural for you, maybe facing out a window or the front of your mat. And let your hips settle. Feel your spine grow long out of the hips. And let the shoulders relax away from the ears. Hands maybe on the knees. And again, if you have longer to sit in this stillness and peace that you've created, feel free to stay longer. Otherwise, gathering your palms together, press the hands into center. And feel the thumbs rest on the center of your chest. Take a deep exhale. And then full long breath in. Slow breath out as you bow your head towards your heart. Thank you all for taking this time out of your day for yourself. I hope you enjoyed it. Namaste. Thanks, guys. So if you only had half an hour, then we're done. If you have longer, feel free to stay just as you are. Remember that the word of the day was tree pose. And nice to see some familiar faces via Instagram and see some comments coming in from people. Thanks everyone for joining me. And I'm going to go ahead and end the live so that if you're still going, you get the silence and the peace for the rest of your day that you need. Thanks so much, everyone. Take care.